Ooh, I can't do Twitter. What? Welcome, everyone. It is a glorious day, and it's Friday. Oh, yes, it is. It's Friday. And what does that mean? It means that we're going into the weekend, and we need this reminder. There is a process to life. It is always going to unfold in the same way. Even though we might forget that it opens or that it unfolds in the same way, the reminder is this as I open up Twitter because it didn't open the first time. Bear with me. The process is the same every single time. One, you know who you are, you know that you are. But then, what do you say you are? What you say you are is what you will be and what you experience, because those two things have to match. Who you say you are and what you do. They match. How do we know that they match? When you look into nature, what's happening? Because nature follows the same process. If you plant corn, you can only reap corn. You can only reap what you have sown. Yeah, but Angela, that's just nature. But it would happen that way anyway. Oh, that's why you call it the hidden process. It's hidden, but it is obvious. Because if you planted corn and got tomatoes, something would be wrong, don't you think? You would say, what's going on? What kind of voodoo magic is this? This shouldn't be happening. But because it happens so flawlessly, so naturally, we take it for granted, right? We take it for granted and say, hey, it would have happened anyway. That's what we say. It would have happened anyway. So there we go. Twitter's live now too. So that hidden process, it just appears to be hidden because we're busy, right? That's why we don't see it, but we see it. So when you go through this weekend, remember that there is a process to what you are doing. You might not see the process, but you know that the process is there. You get up, you say, I'm going to have some scrambled eggs. Are you going to scramble mushrooms? No, you go and you look for the eggs. Because what you say you are and what you are have to match. Because that is the whole basis of creation itself. When we heard, let there be light, well, what did it say after that? It said, and there was. Because why? The Spirit of God recognized that it was dark. So in order to see something, it said, well, fine, let's have light. And you separate those two things. The night is dark and the day is light. They always have to match. Of course, if we're living in Alaska, where now it's winter, they have 24-hour darkness. And in the summer, they have 24-hour light. Why is that? But isn't that opposite answer? No, that's where they are. That's where they're located. And where they're located, they have to match where they're located. Just like in the northern hemisphere, we go through the seasons. If you're by the equator, you just get 12 hours of daylight, and it's not one season. It looks like it's one season because you don't get winter, spring, summer, fall, but you get bearing and not bearing. So you get fruit, no fruit. So you see, there's always a pattern, and the pattern makes things comfortable. Do you see why we honestly seek comfort? It's our natural state of being. It is our natural state of being to be in comfort. It does not mean laziness. Look at what you're doing and you will understand what I'm saying. When you follow a pattern, a habit, and it is so comfortable to you, it is a comfort to you because the natural state is comfort. So now the question becomes, what do you want to be comfortable doing? But that depends on you and where you are and where you say your life is going, which depends on what? Who you say you are. Who you say you are and what you present yourself as are always going to match. Yeah, but I never told anybody who I thought I was. You don't have to say who you are. You don't ever have to utter a word who you are. Your attitude, your mental mood will broadcast to the world who and what you are. So if you are bitter gourd, a bitter gourd, it's like a gourd. It's like a little tube, but it's bitter, yeah? And when you look at a bitter gourd, you know exactly what you're looking at, this bitter gourd. So if you are walking around, right, and you're holding on to the hurt and you're living the hurt every day, what do you think you look like? What do you think you speak like? How do you think you treat other people? From where you say you are, hurt. There's no escaping that. It is your rhythm. It is your pattern because you've decided who you were. Now, here's how you recognize who and what you say you are. It is a simple phrase you'll always say. Ah, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep doing this? Ha ha. That is your hidden way of living that you just developed over time. That's what it is. The moment you catch yourself saying, oh my God, why do people keep treating me the same way? Don't beat yourself up. Throw some confetti and celebrate that you found the hidden thing that's been holding you back. Not because it's cruel, but because that's your way, your hidden way. But now you found it. So now that you have found it, oh, for the love of God, when you throw the confetti, you say, I found who I am. And when you see who and what you are, well, now you can take a minute and rock, right? You sit in that rocking chair, you say, girl, do you like who you are? Do you like what you're doing in your life? Do you like this way of being? And you're going to answer yourself. And you'll say, well, no, not really. I don't like it. I don't like being treated like that. Oh, well, how do you want to be treated then? You know what? You know what would be so great and what would make me feel so good? Is if I were treated with what? More respect, more dignity, more care, more thoughtfulness. Yeah, that's great, but what would that look like to you? If you were treated with more respect, more dignity, more care, what would that look like to you? What would that look like in a day? Well, let me think about that. What would it look like for me? What would that make me feel like? Well, I would feel appreciated. Well, that's good. Tell me more. What does appreciation feel like to you? And you sit and you think about it. You contemplate it. What would appreciation feel like? What would care feel like to me? What would respect feel like to me? And all you do is you sit there and you're going to begin to feel what that would feel like if you were respected. And you're not saying a word, You're just rocking in the chair. You're just rocking in that rocking chair on the porch and the chimes are blowing in the wind. And you're saying, that would feel really great. If I felt appreciated, man, I would do what I love doing. I'd cook more, I'd bake more. I would do those things that make me feel good. Yes, I would. Ah, you see, now something happens to you because the process of living might be hidden, but it is visible. When you start feeling better about yourself from that inner conversation that you're honestly having with yourself, you know what happens? Your body begins to release endorphins. Endorphins? What are those, Angela? Endorphins are a hormone. They call it the happy hormone. It makes you feel good, makes you feel happy. It alleviates pain in the body, oddly enough. And that's what starts to happen to match your internal conversation, who you say you are, and your body agrees because it's releasing that same cocktail. The more you sit in that chair and you do that, your body will respond that way. And then what happens? You start to live that way. If you persist in sitting there and speaking to yourself in such a way that is edifying and uplifting to yourself, even though you may not understand or even though you may not believe it, you sit and you have that conversation along that line, that train of thought that says, yeah, that would feel really good to me. But remember, you don't get caught up in talking to yourself. You get caught up in the way that talking to yourself makes you feel. Because that's how I would know. If I came along and saw you rocking on that chair and you had this expression of peace on your face, well, I would know what you were thinking about. I would know because of what the image of your face looks like. It will show me your internal. So it's not the words that you say to yourself, it's what they invoke as you say them to yourself. So that's how you will know who you say you are, because it comes with a matching feeling. They always have to match. They're never not going to. Even though sometimes we say, oh my God, how come I'm not getting what I want? If you stop for a minute and rock in the rocking chair, just put yourself in the invisible rocking chair and just rock there. You begin to get a sense of how you feel. And when you get the sense of how you feel, now you will understand why you keep getting that, which makes you say, why does this keep happening to me? Because you're paying attention to the chemical cocktail being released in your body, right? So, how do you change from, oh my God, why does that keep happening to me, to, oh, my life has changed. Ah, I love it. The feeling inside of you has to change. How do you get the feeling to change? Well, you ask yourself a simple question. Because this is what we do all day, every day. It might be hidden, but we do it. You know, you got that person that you can't really tolerate, and you stop and you think about them. What happens to you when you start to think about somebody you just can't tolerate? Ah, uh-huh. You see how you start to feel? Right. But you notice that, right? But what if you thought about testing Angela's insane theory? My hypothesis then. What what does she mean? What would it feel like to me? Well, I don't know how that would feel. But if you pay attention, you will know exactly what it feels like. If you think about your puppy, you think about the meow, you think about the rooster, because I do. I think about him all the time. It puts a smile on my face. I don't have to say anything. But the very thought of him just makes my whole body smile from the inside out. Oh, you see how that feels? If you know the feeling, you can definitely tell how you're going to act. It's a hidden process, but it's obvious. So how do you change? You start to change by thinking of other things that make you feel better in your body. Your body is confirming to you what mental state you are in. You say, girl, I can't even get out of bed. My room is dark. I smell kind of funky. I've been laying here for 3 days. Huh. So your room and the way you smell is a direct reflection of the thoughts you are ruminating upon in that dark room. They have to match. You go to the doctor, if he draws blood serum, he's going to see the same chemical response to match your mental mood and your bedroom. And the fact that you haven't brushed your teeth or washed your body because you just don't feel like it. Because why? Whatever you're sitting and thinking about there, that's why. When you start to connect the dots, that it is your mood that makes you speak, your mood that makes you think a particular way, your mood that makes you act a particular way. When you put the connection together, now you understand the hidden way of living, that who man says he is and what man does will always match. This is why Granddaddy always said, girl, you can't lie you can lie to somebody else, but you can't lie to yourself. Or for those of you who like my Bajan, I will say it to you this way. You can hide and buy land, but you can't hide and work it. You can pretend all, this is why pretending doesn't work. You can't fake your way out of that. You must acknowledge it. You have to be truthful with yourself. Because it's going to be true whether you try to hide it or not. So don't try and fake it. Acknowledge it. If that memory that you have is so painful, that traumatic memory is so painful, acknowledge that it is. Wait, calm down, Angela. Breathe. Breathe. When we are remembering things that happened to us in our lives, things that we deem traumatic, when we remember them, we trigger the same chemical cocktail in our bodies as if it were happening all over again. That is the process. So, Angela, I can't just forget my trauma. No, you don't have Alzheimer's, so you're never going to forget it. But if you acknowledge it and put it into perspective, little bit, is there a party over there? Sorry, I can hear him hopping around. When you acknowledge it and you say, man, this thing happened to me and it was crappy, it was shitty, I don't like it. Ah, now we're getting somewhere. Now you say to yourself, that's right. And when you say that to yourself, you begin to feel the anger, right? Of course, you begin to feel the injustice. But what do? You feel it, don't you? And you say, yes, I can feel this. And you acknowledge it and you say, yeah, every time I think about that, I feel like this and I don't like it. Right. See? Now that you feel it, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Yes, you can, right? And then you begin to remember something. You begin to remember that that wasn't your fault. It wasn't. It wasn't your fault at all. Someone was supposed to take care of you and they did not. Chances are they didn't take care of you because they didn't know how. Nobody taught them. But you see, here's where the grace comes in to help you. You are realizing, oh my God, I am learning a new way to be so that I don't have to continue doing what I have always done. You see, nobody taught the person who was to take care of you. Nobody taught them how to change. So they continued being what they were. But you have now been given a most glorious opportunity to see what you are and how to change it so that you don't have to continue being what you don't like anymore. And when you begin to recognize that, throw some confetti. You know why? Because you don't have to suffer anymore. That is why. You're now free. It is the acknowledgement of what you've gone through and recognizing that it wasn't about you. It was that somebody didn't take the time to teach that person the way you are learning how to do it now. Now is your time to learn a new way to be so that you can be free. You know, here's the thing, right? We gonna touch on it a little bit. It might be heavy, but let me explain it. When you see somebody contemplating the S word, it's not that they don't want to live, it's just that they don't know how to make the loop and the cycle of thoughts to stop. That's what they want to stop. But because they don't know how to do it, they think the only way out is the S word. You know what I'm saying? So today, understand this. That's not the way out. The way through is to understand. To understand. Because when you understand what has happened to you, it removes the sting of it. Because now you can see it for what it really is. And now you're emboldened to say, oh my God, I don't have to stay that way? No. You mean I don't have to carry on these generational quote unquote curses? Nope. Well, how come nobody ever showed anybody else? Here's the thing. We are all learning. You see where grace comes in now? We are all learning because you don't want to repeat it again. And if you find that you are, have some grace with yourself. What does that mean? It means, honey, you are learning a new way to be. And learning a new way to be takes practice. That's what it takes. So be faithful to practice because what is the end result? Freedom. Freedom is the end result. So you walk in that freedom and you will be compelled to live out freedom, thereby freeing yourself from your mental bondage. So you see, my beautiful friends, understand the hidden process of living. Mentalism, the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. As above, so below. As within, so without. Everything has to match. And how does it match? Because it is moving. Everything moves. Nothing is at rest. People tell you the only constant thing in the world is change. Oh, because everything is moving. And where it is moving, here's polarity. It is moving from where it is to where it is going. You are the only thing moving from where you presently are to where you say you want to be. And in that movement of what you have chosen to become, it unfolds. You don't have to force it to unfold. You just have to choose. And it will unfold according to what it is. Anxiety unfolds in a manner of nail biting, twitching, pulling the hair, OCD, all of those things. When you say anxiety, varying degrees will unfold in a particular pattern. So all you have to do is choose the pattern, and you will unfold according to that pattern. A pattern of freedom. So when the scripture tells you, let the weak say, I am strong, declare your strength. Feel your strength, and you will unfold in a manner of strength, is what it is telling you to do. It's not telling you to lie and pretend that you're strong. It's telling you to feel that you are, and you must unfold in the pattern of strength, is what it is telling you. That is the rhythm, the pattern. And from that pattern, you are caused to behave as strength itself, cause and effect. Why? Because you came up with the thought or the idea that said, oh, I am strong. And you did what? You projected, because it's masculine to project. You came up with the idea and you projected it. And you said, I am strong. And you projected that seed of strength into the womb of creation itself. And what does a womb do, which is feminine? It brings you the life or the offspring of what you just planted into it. You planted strength, you gonna get strength. Well, you can't get weakness. So today, my beautiful friends, recognize that there is a way of living. And it all stems from who you say you are, who you believe yourself to be. Listen, you can tell me whatever you want to, but if I watch you, I will hear everything you don't say. We all do it. We all do it. To learn, you have to watch. How do you know? Put it in the most basic sense. I always use this one because it makes the most sense. The thief. Any thief worth his salt doesn't just walk in and say, give me all your money. No, he don't do that. He will watch you. And he will learn your pattern. Learn when you come and when you go. Learn how long you stand outside to smoke. Learn the distance between your house and your job. Why? Because we all have a pattern. There is a pattern. If the thief can see your pattern, remember, use the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. You can see a pattern down here, can't you? Well, if there's a pattern here, then there's a pattern up there. But where is up there? Your mind's eye. Who you say you are is the pattern. Anywho, let us welcome everyone into the space this glorious Friday. Twitter, hey Yoda Green. I see you, baby. It's good to see you. Who else is there? Terrell, popping in the city. Sorry, I couldn't help myself, Terrell. It's good to see you, Big Mike. Honey, Oracle Treehouse, Lanisha. Hey, Flo Smiles. Burnt Skillet, I see you. Miss McQueen, KZ. I see you. You're all here kicking it with us on Fanbase. Now who's here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch? I don't know who's on Twitch. They haven't said anything. But on YouTube, we got Sugar Visions and the lovely Ronay. They're the ones who've made themselves known in the chat. And for the others who've not, I see you. I see you, my beautiful friends. So this glorious Friday, don't let me keep you, but let me remind you, take some time. Pay attention to how you feel, and you will understand why you think the way you do, why you speak the way you do, and why you act the way that you do. If you watch yourself, watch yourself. Watch yourself. Show me what you're working with, right? If you do that, you become a master observer. But when you observe, now you have the keys to change your life. You and I were not meant to be captive. Oh, heavens, no. We were always meant to be free. We are free. You just don't know. So take your time. Take your time. Ain't no need to rush. You see nature rushing. Sometimes I wish she'd rush through winter, but hey, I feel like in winter she takes her time. But she's only going according to winter, you see, because with cold, things get slow when they're cold. This is how you can detect if you have cold in your body. Slow to move, tight, cold, stiff. Well, I digress, but you understand what I'm saying. Pay attention and observe. your mood, your mental attitude, and you will understand why you think and speak and act in the way that you do. And the moment you see that pattern, what do you need to do? Change your mood. All you have to do is change the mood, and the mood unfolds. You just get carried along in the mood. But don't we get carried along in the mood now? And we call it, oh my God, you are in your feelings. Don't we do that right now? I'm just saying. It is a simple observation. And so when you examine that, when you examine that part and observe that part of you, now you can throw that confetti, because what? You got the secret to changing your life. Anywho, let me stop with my prattling. I've already welcomed everybody. Um, I'm in the chat here on Fanbase. I'm just reading through it. Well, yes, Flow Smiles. Listen, sometimes I really do, because I find myself rocking. If I sit there, I rock, because this is how I'm thinking, right? It's the motion. Look at look at the potency of a rocking chair. If you have a baby in your arms and you rock them, what do you do to them? You soothe them, don't you? So the rocking chair is designed to soothe your body as you rock. It soothes the body as you rock, and it lulls the mind into a different brainwave. And as you are rocking in that brainwave, yeah, now you begin to see more things. Now you begin to put yourself into a different frame of mind as you rock. Don't think that because somebody's rocking, they nuts. They're not nuts. It has a purpose as you rock to soothe. It is an observation. Let me get the chime, because we may get Chime and Chicken this morning, because he woke up early today. I thought to myself he was confused, but he's not confused. He started crowing at 4:49, and I'm like, well, technically speaking, it is 5:49, so he might be right on time. So you might get Chime and Chicken. Right, Rue? So as you hear the chime on this beautiful Friday, celebrate that you have learned a new way. And because you've learned a new way and you're going to test your new way, you're now free. Revel in that freedom and how it feels. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you all for being here on this glorious Friday. Yes. Now, go forth today, and know. Know. K-N-O-W. Go forth today and know within your heart that you will never be the same. You're free. I'll see you tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the bedtime lecture. I don't remember which one it is, but I know, listen, last night was fire. Oh, yes, it was. And wow, yeah, I I went into a room on fan base afterwards, and I was so out of it. I just fell asleep in that space. I fell asleep, and I was just so at peace. It was a brilliant lecture last night. Yes, it is uploaded on Spotify already since last night. So you can check it out there if you want to, if you don't want to have to go through ads. I only have ads at the beginning on YouTube and at the end, never the mid. Oh, dear God. I can't handle mid-roll ads, but I digress. So you don't get interrupted when you listen to the lecture. So I'll see you tonight if you want to join us, huh? 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out, Twitter. My chime. I'm holding it. Twitter is closed. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch.